Good. So I have put on the left side is the regular office setup. On the right is the virtual team. So let's start with the first element, which is team onboarding. So today, when you look at in a regular office setup, when somebody comes in new, every company has their own way of introducing the people to the team members. So there is a lot of face-to-face interaction and a lot of non-verbal cues that you can get. Even if you don't understand the team in the first meeting, you get a chance to either travel together if you're coming from the same direction. You meet him over lunch, you meet him over tea break. But the same thing is not there in virtual team. Okay, meaning in the virtual team, you're not really sometimes seeing the person. And I don't know, after lockdown, there might be a time when you might not even meet the virtual team member for 1 month or 2 months. I think some of the places like Accenture, they have started to do virtual onboarding, which means that the person even doesn't see the team member face to face. So right now it is because of lockdown, but in future it may continue. So now, if you are a manager or if you are a person who is going to have team, how do you get as close to getting the people to know that person like the way you had it in the regular office setup? So which would mean that you will have to think of creating a e-profile with the photos of the person. You might want to, when you're getting him together on a call like this, first they show him how to get on a camera and talk about many things which are beyond the work routine, which means people will get some idea about what that person is all about. Since you're not getting a chance to meet this person informally in tea or lunch setup, you will have to have some planned connect. And which means as a manager or as a leader, you will have to start making yourself much more organized than what you were before. Because remember, all these opportunities that you had earlier are gone away. So you'll have to start, and sometimes we are very uncomfortable, having a one-on-one connect, because traditionally one-on-one connect is almost to, most of us have experienced that the moment there is one-on-one, it is more like giving a developmental feedback. There is no, casual connect. What I'm talking here is about remotely also knowing the person in a virtual setup. Second is the perception management. So suppose if you're in office and you have a meeting at 2 o'clock and you go into the conference room and the other person or few of them don't come on time, it's 2:10, but you can actually visibly see the person that he's talking to somebody or he's picking up a cup of coffee or he's gone to washroom. You can visibly see them. But if you see in a virtual setup, even those 10 minutes that you're waiting will sound as if it is like 20 minutes or 30 minutes. Now, when you guys started logging in itself, when we at 11 o'clock and we just waited for 2 minutes, but it sounded as if, we have waited for 5 to 7 minutes. Now, the same thing if I do in a classroom setup, I know that even if 10 minutes has passed by 11, people would not mind because you're meeting each other, you're chatting with each other. I am also moving around. So now imagine if the person doesn't come on the call for 10 minutes and you feel as if it's half an hour and you log off out of the meeting, getting a little upset of the person not coming on time. And your mobile phone is on silent because you had a previous call with some of the customer and you kept it on silent. Now your team member calls you at 2:15 and you don't pick up the phone because it is on silent. And you see only the phone at 2:45 and you call him again and he's gone into another call which you are not aware of. So you can imagine if there is a customer deliverable that is happening, how the perception between the two manager and the team member can get impacted. So what the point is that if you tell your team member that these are the issues that will happen in a virtual setup and we should be completely open about it. We should not keep anything with ourselves. So if I'm upset with my manager or any of my team member, I think we should say it out, saying that you don't come on time and there could be some valid reason for that. So we should not form any automatic stories about people because of that. And the same thing about, if you're on a call and if you in a virtual setup, say you didn't wanted to cut somebody, but you interrupted the person and started saying your view. Now, if the same thing is in a regular office setup, it won't mind because the person is seeing you face to face. So he knows that, there is no problem in you coming and you're actually trying to help him. But in a virtual setup, the person may think that, you just cut him off. Same thing on email. You write an email asking for a status in a regular office setup, and you're walking by and having lunch together. Even if that mail is like a two-liner asking for it, there is no perception issue. But the same thing in a virtual setup may be seen as if the manager is upset with the team member. So the point is, if we have an open communication, then even if there are issues like this, they don't brew for a long time. So that is the idea about open communication. And then your attention to responsiveness, which means that I think a lot of us are not still used to keeping our mobile phone together, along with us, keeping it charged all the time, making sure that whenever it rings, we pick it up in time. Yeah, because so all along it was not so important. But now I think you will have to teach your team that, and at some point we'll talk about the office setup on having a placeholder for the mobile phone, having a charger next to it, having a extension cord, so that some of these things which are not people used to, you're getting it so that it doesn't impact your work. And then last is the trust. Now, in a regular office setup, the trust is not as fragile, but if you look at in a virtual, it is very fragile. Just one or two instances of somebody not picking up the phone or not coming on the call, you must just start branding people. And once the relation is broken, since you're not meeting the person anyway, it starts, kind of widening the gap. So our idea, and if you look at the way I put this slide, is absolutely in a very systematic sequence with a comparison on both sides. So if you can, once you get get the participant workbook, you can actually share that with your team members. You can talk about all this in your next meeting. If you want to take a photo of this screen right now, you can take it so that you can show it, to your team member. Have it handy. If you have a printer at home, it would be a good idea for you to print it and just stick it on the soft board. So it is like a reminder to all of you. Yeah. So once we have looked at the first parts, I'll just leave it for a second if you want to take a picture. Yeah. So all of you can take a picture of this. And then once we have done, so these are the foundational element. Yeah. And we'll now look at the working of a world-class virtual team. So first we looked at the foundation, then we look at the working of a virtual team. And if you look at the working, there are three parts to it. So Rajkumar, if you can try and mute everybody. Yeah.
Yes,
so
yes, I'm doing it.
Yeah. Yeah. I think no problem. Unless somebody wants to speak on the. So let me. I mean, if there is any question, I can.
Yogesh, this is Sanjay. Yogesh, this is Sanjay Verma here.
Yes,
May I just quickly add to what you said? I hope you remember me. We were colleagues at Wipro.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Sanjay. Skill.
Speed.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Please.
So, I mean, what you say is absolutely right and absolutely bang on. I just have to, add my 2 cents, may I?
Please. Absolutely.
See, the biggest challenge in what I've seen is in the communication part.
Yes.
Because in a typical communication, only 7% are the words you actually say. Yeah. Only 7%. While 51% is your body language, and 38% is the tone, pitch, and speed of your voice.
Yes.
Now, in a virtual engagement or communication, what you say and how you say is 100%. There is no body language that plays up at all. So even a simple, like I can ask you a question saying that, tell me why, which you may find very rude. But if I'm smiling in a face-to-face meeting, it becomes a friendly gesture. But in a virtual meeting, it has a completely different connotation to it.
Yes. No, completely, Sanjay. I think very, very valid point. And I think what you said also should be handwritten on this piece of paper, like this open communication part, and where we talk about oral, I think all the more it becomes very important. And hence, I think a lot of people are still not okay with the camera on, but I think that is the next best, closest to what you could do in face-to-face. Yeah. So good, Sanjay. Thank you so much for adding that, and glad to have. It's great to always meet our ex-Wiproites.
You bet.
बाद में बात करते हैं, ठीक है.
Okay, आराम से. Please carry on.
Brilliant. Yeah. So good. So hope anybody don't have any further question, and I think a lot of you are anyway known to us, and those who are new, I think I would like to get connected with all of you.
Yogesh, we have some participant icons.
Okay.
Hema, there is no button, and Hema and Siddhartha.
Okay.
I'm not sure if they need something or if they want to change something. They can
Okay.
unmute
Okay.
and speak if they want.
Yeah. Please, if they want to speak, they can definitely unmute and speak. So Siddhartha, anything if you want, please speak. Yeah.
Let
Yeah.
Siddharth speak first and then I'll speak.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Ashok can then say, yeah. Okay. So while Siddharth opens up, Ashok, I can read your question that how can we create rooms? So
I was not very clear when you were creating rooms, and also when this other gentleman also tried to rejig the whole thing.
Okay, no problem. So Ashok, I'm going to run one program for the businessmen's of Hyderabad. There is a group called Businessmen's Hyderabad Group on how to run Zoom and how to create rooms and all that. So what I can do, Ashok, is I can invite you. It's going to be a half an hour, 45-minute session, and then you can come and join that webinar. Yeah.
Sure.
Or
Thanks.
if you want something urgently, I can.
No. There's nothing
Because
else.
it is because what happens is as a host, some of the functions that I do here are not visible to you. Okay, because they are only seen by the host. So what I will have to do is I will have to maybe
Share
get
the
you
screen.
and show you separately. Yeah. So we
No,
can.
it's okay. There's no tearing hurry. Do at your own pace, and whenever it happens is fine.
Yeah. Okay. Then Sanjay said that there are a lot of good tutorials on YouTube, and we can. Okay. I think
Alternatively,
yeah. So no problem. We'll do that. I think Sanjay Verma is a guy with skill speed, so you can get everybody on speed very quickly. So good. I think even Rajkumar can send some presentation. So what we will do is we will ask Sulbha, who is the person who is sending you the invite and the communication. We'll gather from Rajkumar. Maybe if Sanjay can also send some good links, we can collate all that and send all of to all of you together. Yeah?
superb, Yogesh. Thanks a lot.
So
Thank you.
brilliant. Okay, thank you so much. So let's look at the working of a world-class virtual sim. So if you see, I have not tried to bring in too many things in the session. I just like putting some, like if you look at the foundation element, I just picked up the core item. If we follow that, I think we can beautifully run virtually. So you will not see this presentation very heavy. Only the core items I have put it together. Yeah. So let's look at the communication metrics. So what we are saying is, today we have not many a times have not spoken to our team members on, how are we going to work virtually, which means that, what is the working hours that we want to finalize. Okay, now I'll give you a very recent example of one of our customers. So we ran this program, for the, one of the, so the husband was our client from the client company. And when I spoke about this, they realized that both husband and wife were working, and there were times when they didn't had a very big flat, so it was just that one room hall in which they were working together. Because there was just two of them, yeah. And there was a lot of background noise between when they were having two calls together, and they could not go to the gallery because there was a lot of noise on the road. They didn't had any other place in the society. So after this session, what the guy did is that he went to his manager and said that this is an issue that my spouse also is working in a company and they're going to call. So he spoke that can we have all the calls in the morning if possible, only in the emergency we can do in the afternoon. The spouse went to her manager and said that can I have all the call in the afternoon. And with this one small switch, I think both of them were having very nicely calls without any disturbance to each other. Yeah, it could be as basic as that. There was one case recently with the same client. There was one temple next to the next to this home, and even in the lockdown, the pujari would is staying inside the temple only. He's also locked in, but he does a lot of this arti and whatever ritual in the temple. So from 7:30 to 8:30, there is a lot of noise because of the temple. Now he spoke to his manager, and since they have a lot of clients are from abroad, they had to make the adjustment to shift all the calls from morning to the evening. And then that was, so the point is, can we discuss with our team members on what is the, and this is like very, sometimes, it looks to be very normal, but I have seen managers not really having this conversation that, what is going in their home, what is the setup they have, because they never thought about all this. It is just the first time it has just come to them. And then the protocol, meaning you have got multiple mediums. So, today you saw some of these, the way we have used. So you can use video conference or the other platform, teleconference, you can have chat, you can have, like people also use WhatsApp for that, or you can have your regular traditional email. The point is, can I, use the protocol for what you want to use? And the next slide, I'm going to do a small exercise with all of you on deciding at which item will be used for which protocol. Yeah. And then the other items, like when will you have one-on-one, when will you have weekly status, group meetings, non-informal calls. Yeah. Now, many of these things that you're listed here were no big deal when you were in office. Okay. Because if you're a manager, if you're a small company, like, Sripada is also on the call, or Anupama is on the call. So, their office is like on the single floor. So, I mean, the other day when I went, the manager could just wave at people and we had a meeting. But same thing can't happen, in a virtual setup, because you don't know, that guy may have a temple issue. He may have a spouse in a parallel call. So all this has to be thought through, and don't wait for, the time to come when there is an issue and then you fix it. Do it proactively. When you looked at the onboarding part, have this conversation as soon as the onboarding happens, because remember that whatever was there as a standard, which means was provided by the office setup, is no longer there. Means there is no protocol now. Each individual have their own challenges, and can I address that upfront? And there is a solution for everything. I mean, we have been running virtually for so many years at Crossover, so we are smoothly running, but this has to be done upfront. And if you look at the next slide, I have put the items on the left, which are the things that you would need for communication. And on the top, I have put the modes that you can use. What I want you all to do is use the annotate function in your, in your laptop or in your mobile, and then choose which one would be suitable for which item. So for example, if you look at one-on-one, which do you think would be the, the tool, the medium that you want to use? Yeah. So I can see already, I think, somebody saying that, okay, choosing that, okay, some people feel that web conference is better. Okay. So you can choose the, and I also can see that, okay. Okay, so I can see that a lot of people saying that, okay, so, okay, good. I think people are saying, okay.
Yogesh, how to use the annotate feature?
So you can go to more options, more view options, or more options below, and then you will see a function called annotate.
I'm seeing only chat, meeting settings, and minimize meeting. That's
okay,
all.
on the right hand side. So I think those who are using it, I think if one of you can guide. Rajkumar, would you know where can Arun find that?
If you are on mobile,
Yeah.
you're on mobile, sir?
No, I'm on iPad.
You're on iPad. So you can go to the top of the screen. Are you able to see view options?
More.
I'm not sure of iPad because I've not used it. Touch on the screen, sir. Do you see anything above the mic button?
Yeah, what I see is share content, participants, more. Under more, I see only chat window, meeting settings, minimize meeting.
Okay, you can come back from more. If you touch on the screen, if you see mic icon, on top of mic icon, you may see a pencil-like button in a circle. Are you able to see that?
But Arun, even if you see that, you can see how people have already taken the entire space.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah, no worries. I think we will try this out again. So
I'm
good.
not
I think.
logged in on iPad, so
Yeah. So good. I think I
check
can
this.
see, lot of action. I think brilliant. I think, yeah, Ramna is still putting, okay. Okay. I think somebody has also tried this. They have circled the chat. Okay, so now there are two things. One is the the medium that we are talking about, but I also want you all to see how engaging we are right now with 58 people or 56 people on the WebEx. Can you see this? And everybody is fully engaged. You can see the entire screen filled up. Nobody has got away from this, because what we have done is that every few minutes you have seen there is some other activity that we have kept, and I am not deciding myself. I am just letting you guys decide what you would like to do. So this is one other function, and as you run your meeting virtually, you can decide how you want to use some of these tools that are available in Zoom. So you don't have to pay anything extra for that. It is all part of it. Yeah. So what I will do now is, I think I know people are still enjoying all this, but I am going to take it forward. So I think you guys can take a pause so you can see. Okay, so Mohammed is really putting like big circles. He's trying all the options of annotate. Okay,
We're
good. So I'm
experimenting.
going to do is in the next slide, I'm going to show you what are the best practices. If with your permission, I'm going to erase all the things that you have written. Fantastic job. Can we do a clapping for all of you guys once? Yeah, very nice. And those who can't do, like if they are on video, or they can just put clap on the chat window. So I'm going to. So this is one of the, yeah, Arun. So you finally got it. Yeah, good. So these are the best practices that you can see, about. So if you want to do one-on-one, I think the best way to do is it's web conference, because that is the next best, option after face-to-face. If you want to send a team status, you don't need to have video conference for that. You can use email for that. If there are team meetings, you could do either video conference or audio conference, depending on the size of your team. Informal meetings, you could either use teleconference, you can do chat also. All hands meet, I think you can use any of these three. Okay, so the point I wanted to share with you is that you will have to start deciding with your team what are the different areas that you're going to work together, and what is the medium that you're going to use. So now generally the Josh after the workshop is very high. Yeah, so what you should do is try and finalize this today only, because the more you delay, I've been in this space of training for last 10 years, and in my experience, do most of it that you're learning in the session today itself. Yeah, so have a conversation. You may not finalize everything, but you may want to start having a conversation with your team, so that everybody knows. Yeah. And when we looked at productivity, I think we did talk about it in the beginning, and I just want to cover this up. So what happens is that when you are in a virtual setting, lot of these things actually looks like micromanaging. So for example, if you're a manager in the office setup, if you go to somebody and say ask for a status 3 or 4 times in a day, it will not look anything odd, because you are moving by his cubicle, you're walking around, you're generally checking. Now the same thing, if you were to do on a phone call, it will look as if you're micromanaging. Yeah. Now, I mean, you can't help it. Virtual team has this issue with that, which means you will have to now start putting certain SLAs with your team, which means that if I give you a certain task, how many hours you will actually take to revert back to me. Okay. Now you may experience that a lot of people are still not used to reverting back, because they are used to still the manager coming and asking that, like we say, when my manager come, I'll respond to that. So when they go in virtual, they are still in that mode. So initially it may still be required for you to do that, but gradually you'll have to start moving that. And I can tell you, when we started moving virtual, we realized that lot of the things that was happening in the same time was not happening when we moved virtual, because you will see that lot of things in our office happens informally. So for example, if I wanted to send a proposal to a client in 2016, I think the pre-sales person or the solutions person or the finance person would just be in the same place. So they would go to each other, they will talk to each other, and the proposal will be out. In a virtual setup, when we moved, I think when say Shraddha is calling Mini for something, Mini is not, say if she's not picking the phone, there is a delay in getting the solution in place. If when Mini calls back Shraddha, for example, she doesn't pick the phone and the entire day is gone. Okay. Now, what if I can put those guidelines in a common place where people don't need to so frequently call. So remember, you will have to start thinking about how the things were happening in the regular office setup, move them in two things. One is the SLAs, which means that we will now have to be very clear that if we get a client requirement, if the other party is going to work on the solution, what is the timeline? Will they take 6 hours? Will they take 4 hours? And then budget that in your response to the client. Now, initially, this may take a little longer for you. So if you are turning around something in 2 days, when you're setting this all up, it may even take 3 days because there is no informal help or communication that is happening. Everything is now actually virtual. So you will have to start moving some standard documentation, having repository of central best practices, templates, guidelines, where to pick what information, so that there is no dependency on you or the other team member. And once you have done this, I think you will start seeing that you go back to the same timeline that was there in the regular office setup. Yeah, and then people will not really find that as an issue. Now, to do this, I think there is one issue that one particular framework, and I just want you all to respond on the chat that are you seeing, have you used a thing called RACI metrics? I just want you all to put on the chat yes or no. And I see Ramna asking a question. So we'll take it up in the evening. Okay, so Shivanand, you have not used RACI. Ellen has not used RACI. Okay. Okay, Sri Prada has used RACI. I think, okay, Bhaskar has not used his. Okay, Ajay Dagan said, okay. So no problem. I think some of you have used it, some of you are not. But I think RACI in a virtual environment comes into play very nicely. Okay, now I'll briefly explain the RACI thing. Responsible, as you can see, accountable, consulted, and informed. So responsible is, for example, if I am a project engineer and I'm responsible for creating code, but I report to Ashok Malhotra, for example. Okay, so Ashok Malhotra is accountable for the entire application. Now, if somebody is working with me in a virtual environment, and if there is a delay from my side, the other party should know whom should the person contact if there is a delay on that. Now, in a regular office setup, this did not make a big issue because you actually informally know that who are the people. You just walk up to their desk and talk to them and understand why there is a delay. But if it is a virtual, then you don't know. The team is absolutely lost that if there is a delay, whom do I go and contact? So can you identify for every project, every task that you're running, who is responsible, who is accountable? Now, who needs to be kept informed? Now, this information in a regular office setup is no big deal because you meet the stakeholder over lunch or over, over corridor, or you do a car share with them, or you have lunch with them. So you are actually informing them. But remember, those opportunities are gone, which means you will have to tell your team member that these are the 5 issues that you will have to start keeping these people in loop. So then you will not hear this common issue that, I was not kept in loop. Now, I was not kept in loop in a regular office setup is not a big deal. You can quickly cover it up, but in a virtual, it will not be. So today evening, when you get a chance, or tomorrow, think about all your projects, all your tasks, look at the team, what they're doing, have a conversation with them that are they clear about if there is a delay in something, who is going to be accountable for that, who needs to be consulted, who needs to be informed. This clarity has to be there amongst the entire team. So if you can do this, you will start seeing that lot of issues that will crop up because of this not having this proper knowledge can be arrested very nicely. Yeah. So bringing it all together, we first started with the foundation. You saw these things of open communication, trust, perception management, onboarding. Second is we are looking at how do you work together, which means you should have a clear-cut communication matrix. You know, what are the timings? How are we going to have one-on-one? When are we going to have our team meetings? You know, minimize micromanaging by putting the SLAs between the team. So people don't unnecessarily call each other asking for the status. So if Shraddha is waiting for a solution from Mini, she doesn't call Mini 4 times because Shraddha has been told that it will take 6 hours for Mini to revert. You can only check with Mini after 6 hours, not before that. Now, if the clarity is not there, there could be a lot of team issues also cropping up in between that Mini might perceive Shraddha as somebody who is just trying to bulldoze her or trying to show power and all that, which is not the reality. It's just that Shraddha was so used to walking up to the desk to Mini and check with them. And if you have known each other, it's okay. But imagine if somebody new coming in. So having this SLA will very help. And finally, the RACI metric so that everybody knows who has to be kept in loop. So we did the foundation, we did the working, and then let's move to the next part, which is nurturing and sustaining a virtual team. Yeah. Now, there will be little different in the way you nurture your team, and you'll have to be mindful of that. You'll have to still build a different capability to doing that, you know. So if you look at the nurturing part, yeah, so I can still see Sri Prada trying to use annotate. Sri Prada, you're enjoying this, and I can see this, you know, people love this. I can imagine once you have these tools, I think you love to use them more often. So let's look at the nurturing part. And when you look at nurturing part, I think I just want you all to, you know, tell me, what do you mean by doing a regular temperature check? In your chat window, you can just write down, you know, what do you mean by temperature check? What is this thing called temperature check? Anybody? You can put it in your chat window. What do you mean by temperature check? Okay. Keeping touch. Okay. Rajkumar says, say hi, hello, and check if all is well. Okay. I can see. Okay. Just understand well. Okay. How their virtual setup. Okay. Checking. You guys are typing real fast. Employee engagement check. Very nice. Understand how well they are engaged. Very good. Fantastic. Are they comfortable with the virtual setup is good? How they are connected? Do they need any support? Yeah, good, very nice. Do they need any support, participation? Okay, very nice, brilliant. So good, I think most of you answered it very correctly. I think what we mean by temperature check is basically trying to check with the team that, you know, how are they going through now. This did not make a big issue because when you're in a regular office setup, you would actually see the team member, you know, face to face. So you don't need to have a temperature check because just meeting them was a check. But this is a very systematic way of checking. And Rajkumar, is it possible for us to do a menti.com, you know, at the end? If you can do one code and
Yeah.
you can,
Yeah, we can do it.
So
let me know what is the question and then I'll set it up.
Yeah, so just, you know, what is one word feeling that they are going through, you know, describing. Okay. We can have the question. Yeah, that we can. So it's a very nice, you know, we can show them also that how you can keep them engaged virtually. Yeah. So good. So now, so temperature check, you know, doing a virtual monitoring of the signal that you're sending. So remember, as I said earlier, that the same email in a regular office may not sound you know, sarcastic or escalating, but it may, you know, sound, you know, for you that, you know, you are upset with the person or whatever. Yeah. So, yeah. So the question is, we have to be monitoring the virtual signal. Encourage virtual team employees to reaching out to you and not keeping as. I'm again bringing back the foundational element one more time in a different form, because engagement and the foundation has to be kind of tied together. So I just want to bring key element from the foundation here, and I mean include virtual teams when planning for a company event. So this is the last point where, you know, when you are in a regular office, if there is an event, I think people just move to that event and you kind of see people going. So there is, you know, you don't miss out on anybody. But in a virtual setup, you may just miss out somebody. Yeah. So you may want to keep an eye on who are your team members. If there is somebody new joining, can I really invite them without they getting missed out? Yeah. So that's the idea. And I've divided the engagement plan into 3 broad categories. Okay. Now, first is the updates. Now, you may want to, in a very systematically way, update your teams, in the sense the updates about customer, updates about the industry, updates about organization, because you, as a leader, you may get a lot of inputs from your board or from, you know, from senior management. How do you systematically communicate that? And a lot of us are not so used to this point, because in the earlier setup, we would generally, you know, talk about some of the updates while in an informal setup over lunch, over tea break and all that. But in a virtual setup, I think that is not possible. So think about how are you going to update that? Are you going to create a team newsletter, which you have not been doing it so far, but you have to start thinking about it. And these are not like, you know, things to be done today. I mean, writing a blog is a very nice idea to communicate your thoughts. Think about that, because in the blog itself, you can communicate a lot of things. Invite them to customer conference, because earlier it was not as important, but now since you are in a virtual setup, you may yourself not get, so expose them if required, and that is up to your choice. Second is the recognition part. Okay, so set up some time, 5 or 10 minutes, you know, during your weekly call for appreciating the people. Yeah, because you could actually appreciate, and we are, many of us are not used to, you know, this whole idea of, you know, we find sometimes that appreciation is more of a Western concept. You know, we don't generally appreciate so much. Like at home also, you know, I don't know if you're appreciating your spouse in the lockdown, but please do that, because you're not so used to appreciating if they cook well or if they are doing all that. But I think we will have to get into this mode of creating some e-appreciation card, creating some photos, creating, praising them online. There are some new things. And then the engagement part, which is, you know, virtual team get together. So at Crossover, we, you know, do this, you know, getting our teams before the lockdown, where everybody logs in through a Zoom and they go to the restaurant in their respective cities. And we just connect on Zoom, have a nice informal chat and have lunch together. So even if we are spread in so many cities, the team get a chance to meet. So now in a lockdown situation, you can do a virtual team get together. You saw that how did we learn clapping like this? There are so many beautiful audio files, music available, where you can do a birthday celebration nicely. So you know, you may you may have your own homemade thing at different homes, but you are basically trying to be together to celebrate. So I'm not really putting all this prescription here, but I want to tell you that you have to have a solid, systematic engagement plan that covers all that is seen on the screen. Again, if you like to take a screenshot of this, you can do that. It's very helpful. Plan for one-on-ones, plan for surveys, plan for check-in, which is another word for temperature. Yeah. So updates, recognition, and engagement with the team, very critical for you to nurture the team. And these are some of the awards that you know, are very nice if you want to consider them. That, you know, in a remote setup, you know, my happiest remote worker, my, you know, helpful remote worker, my funniest remote worker, you know, my easiest remote worker. So you can think about whatever you can create, but the idea is some of these things will help people not to feel that they are too away from you. You know, these are the ways you can engage. So imagine if you have a systematic calendar, you know, wherein you do like customer updates on Tuesday, you know, every alternate Tuesday. You do industry update every alternate Thursday. You do your organization update every alternate Wednesday. So what is happening is every day there is a very systematic connect that is happening. So even if you are remote, there is nothing that is, and because you may set up something for something else, but when you're connecting, a lot of other things will start emerging. Yeah, so the idea is having a systematic nurturing plan for your team. Yeah, and I've just bought this one more time, which is a very critical time. And we did talk when Sanjay spoke about the the Mehrabian study about the body language and the tone and the words we use. I just want to bring this slide one more time again, and this is a slide which talks about that the difference between communication both oral and written in a virtual versus physical setup. So in the physical setup, some of these things are not as critical, because they could see you. So if you cut somebody off in a conversation, it didn't matter because they saw you and they say that there is no problem with you and the person who has cut you off, because they felt that it's important that they should talk in between. But if it is virtual, the team member may perceive that you are trying to sideline the person or you don't value his contribution, but that may not be the case with you, but they may perceive like this. Similarly, when you're writing your emails, there is no opportunity for you to show your physical self. So when you're writing the email, be very careful on the way you draft the email. If you're writing your WhatsApp messages, read couple of times that what is it communicating? Is there something that may get miscommunicated? Remember, all that I've spoken so far with foundation working, all has to be worked together and put a nice plan. Then it doesn't, you're not giving any room for issues that can crop up. Even if they crop up, they are addressed very fast. Yeah. And so we did the foundation, we did the working, we did the nurturing, and then we'll do the review of your team members office setup. Yeah, and I did touch upon some of the items, but I'm going to show you the video that I spoke about. And think about all these areas, like help them. A lot of people may not even have thought about that they're going to work for so long from home. So think about having a dedicated space for working. And we're not asking you to create a new furniture, which you can't do in lockdown anyway. But we are saying that can some of the existing setup can be converted to a dedicated space, means that they're not working. I mean, when I did the session recently for one of our customers, there are 3 attendees who wrote to me that we're glad you brought this point up, because all along we are sitting on our bed and working, and for so many hours they were getting into the backache issue. When they were on a call, they could not respond properly. So they had actually a small table, which was like a table for putting some flower pot or something, and they converted that to a small desk, and they are so formal now. So things like that. So the team member may not think about it himself or herself. You have to remind them. As basic as having a power cord extension. A lot of people did have the power cord extension, but they never thought that I could have it in next to my desk, so that my mobile, my laptop can be nicely kept at one place. Yeah. So the lighting, so I'm going to talk about, show this video. It beautifully talks about how do you set up your laptop and the lighting arrangement, and then check the surround sound. And this is not the surround sound of the music. The surround sound is about a temple next to your, your team member's home, or a function hall. I know in the lockdown, there is no function happening, but if we were to continue in the same format, the function hall also will bother, which means that you'll have to look at the timing when typically the function hall is active and avoid those heavy footfall time. Yeah, and then a pen and notepad always handy, because you would see that a lot of people in an office setup, they leave their notebook in one place, so they are ready to write, but at home they don't think that way. And then even having like a formal dressing, so like personally me, I've been working virtually for last 2 years, so is a lot of my team members. So as a rule, whatever time we have set up when we are going to meet, we all are formally dressed. So we don't, and I always dress up, take my, whatever, as if I'm going to meet a customer, I get ready at 9:30, I'm in the office, till 7:30, I'm in the office in the same formal setup. So you may not want to push all this so much to the team member, but do tell them that whatever we have decided, if you remember the protocol and the timing and the tool that we are going to use. So if there is a video conference, you make sure that those timings, the team members are actually, in the formal setup, which means that They don't need to, get embarrassed about staying in the night dress. And also psychologically, it makes a big difference. If you're still in a casual cloth, you become casual about many things. So can you bring this element? And we're not asking them to buy any new clothes. We are asking them whatever clothes you were using when you came to office, can you wear them during those office hours? Yeah. So let me quickly play the video for you, and then we will move to the last part. Yeah. So let me just open the video for you. Okay. So I'm going to play the video for all of you. Okay. Okay, so let me play the video for all of you. Okay.
Hi, my name is Matthew Ralston. I'm a photographer and a director. I've been shooting.
Still not seeing the video.
For
Okay. Okay, not seeing the video. Okay, so let me share it again. Just hold on. Yeah.
Can't see the video.
Okay, just a second. Yeah.
Screen share need to be activated.
Yeah. No, I got it actually. So what I should do is I should share the desktop and not just the, yeah. So now you should be able to see. So let me start this again. Okay, so can you all see now?
Yes.
Yeah, there is a scissors.
Okay,
Yeah,
lovely.
we can see the video.
Yeah, lovely. So good. So I think you guys can also put your volume to the highest so that you can listen to it.
And also you can blow it up now if you want to.
Yeah, I did actually. I did the entire thing. Okay, so this is the
Now it's
blown up
gone
screen.
back.
Yeah,
This blow.
Lovely,
You include system audio, Yogesh? Include system
I
audio.
did. So if I see this, I've done that.
Yeah, share
Okay,
convert
lovely.
sound. Yes.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
Playing well. Audio is also clear.
Hi, my name is Matthew Ralston. I'm a photographer and a director. I've been shooting beautiful people looking beautiful for a great many years. And that's why I'm here today with Lauren, giving her some tips on how to look good on a webcam. So first things first, look good if you want to look good. Do your makeup. Sit up straight. Maybe smile. Make an effort because you're on camera. Secondly, use some nice lighting. It can be very simple. I think just a simple desk lamp right over the lens of your device, centered to it, is going to be flattering for everybody. You could even put like a lamp with a lampshade right here. It would do the same thing. Or right here could be a window that would light you from the front.
So you never want to be backlit.
You don't want to be backlit. You don't want to be side lit. You don't want to be lit by the screen from underneath and look like a blue Frankenstein. You want to be lit from the front with soft light. It shapes the face. It just gives you a little bit of a glow. But for that to work, you have to get rid of the other lighting. That's why we close these shades. And if there was fluorescent lighting in here, we would have turned it off. Next, you don't want the lens to look at you from underneath. It's better to look just slightly down on the person. So that means raise your device so that it's just about equal to your hairline. That's the best place for it. And then angle the screen or the device till you center yourself in the frame. Everything is centered. You're centered to the lens, the light is centered to the lens. And that symmetry is what makes the face look great. You don't want to sit too close. These devices have wide-angle lenses, and they're not adjustable. So if you get close to a wide-angle lens, it exaggerates things that are close to it, like your nose or your chin, and not terribly attractive.
You don't want to exaggerate any of those things.
Another thing that's really helpful is keeping the background simple. That's just a clean, simple background. If there was a whole office back there, there'd be a lot of visual noise going on. Part of human nature is to look at ourselves. I guess we're just a little fascinated with ourselves. Don't look at yourself. You want to appear to be looking and engaging with the other person. That means you have to look at the lens. That's actually where the eye contact happens. So when you're talking to the other person, look there. That's your eye line, the lens. That's what will give you eye contact with them. Oh, you look pretty good there, gotta say.
Good. So any feedback or anything on the video? Anything that you would like to share? You can unmute yourself
It's good.
and share.
It's really good, means keeping yourself prepared and then presenting. Even if you are virtually you're working, you will be more excited and you will be, doing your work in a much better way. So that
Yes, yes,
what we should means that keeps us motivated. So definitely you
yes.
should get ready like that. You are going to office only on a daily basis.
Very nice, very nice. Brilliant, brilliant. Yeah, good.
I like
So
the tip.
much. Yeah. You
Okay.
like the tip? Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Very useful tip.
Very
Very
useful
useful
tip.
tip.
Yes. So we are anyway. You have this video on your email. Sulba has already sent to you, and so if you, in fact, I did the same thing. So if you can see my setup right now, I have raised my, my laptop, the Apple MacBook, on the MacBook box that I have. So it's come up to this level, and you can see in the background while while the photographer said that have a plain background, but I was actually watching some more videos on how to set up a home studio or a home office, and their recommendation was that have something like you can see on the back side there is a lamp that is lit, some frames on the back side. So what happens is if you have some of these like this, the my picture becomes more visible to the people. So I mean, and I didn't spend anything extra. Okay, whatever I had at home, I just put a lamp in front of this so you can see the light coming on my face, so it will appear very clear. I have the lamp on the side. I put one lamp which is like focusing on this cupboard on the side, so you can do that. Yeah, good. So okay. So let's move to the last part. I think we are at 12:46. So we are all set to close our session right at 1 o'clock as per the plan. And this is, I think, the part which I think each of your companies will have the IT department, or if you are an entrepreneur, you may want to think about some of these things, that how are you going to let your team member know, like what are the tools we are going to use, or whom they should contact if they want to install something, if there are security issues, who are going to contact. So while there are going to be a company-wide information available, our idea is that can I share this in such a way that my team member don't have to go and search for it, but they are readily available to that. Yeah. So think about all this: what tool, what is the security setup, support instruction, planning for contingencies. Like for example, we since we work from home, myself, my son also, just before the lockdown, we had taken 3 broadband connections. So even if one goes down, I got second one. I have kept my mobile phone completely charged so that in case the power goes up, I can quickly switch on to my mobile 4G and continue the session. So things like that, so these are small things that you can set up so that there are no hiccups when you do that. And this is one single slide. I just want you all to take a look at it. Very beautiful slide, that kind of summarizes, pretty much all that we covered. And I just want you all to take a look at it once, read it once. You can take a picture of this if you like. It will help you to really run your virtual team very beautifully. Yeah, and I want you all to look at the last point, which is show flexibility and empathy, which means that I know some of you may have a certain routine. So Rajkumar, you can just put on mute the ones who are not speaking, so there's no background. So some of you may have a routine, like you went back to home and then there was a certain routine that you followed, and now those are the times that were your personal time. But now you will have to start making some adjustment and show empathy towards your team, and show flexibility to your team. So for example, Shraddha, who works with me on the pre-sign, you would have seen her email ID and in all my monthly campaign mailers. Now I do a review with her, maybe at 10 o'clock in the night or 6:30 in the morning, because she has a young daughter, and that is a good time for her to connect with me. So now for me, earlier maybe that was my meditation time. So I would do meditation, Sahaja Yoga at that time. But now I have shifted my meditation time to suit her needs. So if you show as a manager some flexibility and empathy towards your member, you would start seeing that a lot of this productivity thing that we spoke about, a lot of these things about micromanaging that we spoke about, will not be needing to do. And this is, I would say, one of the biggest adjustment that we have to make as managers. And I mean, I know all along we had a certain pattern of working, and the whole world is getting reset. So instead of getting upset with the world around us, we can actually do all this that we spoke about. And when you do this, you will start seeing that you will not be able to just manage virtual team, but you will actually be able to create memorable virtual team. Yeah. So you will actually, enjoy working virtually. And at Crossover, we have been thoroughly enjoying it. So we have absolute no problem, from a cost perspective, from a flexibility perspective, from the amount of output we have created. And I want you all to just learn all this. Then this is a very nice model. So you start with foundation, you establish the working setup of the team, you constantly nurture the team, keeping your communication, attention on that, having SLAs defined with the right infrastructure, like the way basic thing that you spoke about. And if you do that, I think you can actually create memorable virtual team. And with this, I think there are, 4 points that you can quickly think about today afternoon with your team. So what are the foundational elements that we spoke about? What is the communication plan that you will put with your team, RACI metrics, and the engagement plan? If you can put this 4, I'm sure in next couple of weeks, you all will start enjoying working, in a virtual team. Yeah, so this is coming very close to the session. And, as we close, we are going to have this a very nice last activity for all of you, so that you can also learn one more tool, how you can use and keep yours, keep the teams engaged. So we had almost more than 50 people, like even now we have got 54 people on the call today. And personally, I am feeling that we had a good engaging conversation. We didn't find anybody getting away, because every few minutes there was something that we were planning to do together. And we were as close as we would do in a facility, in a regular setup type, So Rajkumar, may I request you to guide us on the menti.com thing that we can use? Yeah.
So Yogesh, I've created the menti.com screen.
Okay.
And if you allow me to share the screen, then I can share the.
Sure.
I'm putting up the Menti screen now. Just let me know if you're able to see it.
Yes.
So
I think people can chat in the window. Yeah.
Yes, they can. They can go to menti.com without closing Zoom. They can minimize Zoom.
Okay.
Go to Google and type menti.com.
Yes.
And put the code number. They will see a space where they need a code. The code number is 234604. So once they type it there, they can see it. Yes, please.
Raj,
and then once you go inside, you have to say in one word, how do you feel after attending the session today?
Raj, is it possible to put the clickable link in the chat itself? Have you tried that before?
Not done that, sir. I will just check it now whether I can do
heard
that.
It's possible, so it makes it easier for the participants.
I am just attempting to do that now. I'm just attempting.
Let's see.
Okay.
If it works, great. Otherwise, we'll go to the Google.
Yeah, good idea.
Yeah.
Narsi, every time there is some learning from you. Very nice.
So, yeah, I just put the link on chat.
Okay.
See the answers already. Zoomable, happy.
Zoomable, happy. Okay, brilliant. Very nice.
Information.
Very informative. Excellent. Okay, good. Relevant. Okay, very nice. I'm so glad that you found it relevant. Awesome. Very nice. Thank you. Okay. Useful. Awesome. Excellent. Okay. Good. Better leader. Okay. You want to become a better leader. Okay. Very nice. Positive. Okay. Okay. Need of the hour. Okay. I completely agree with you. I think it's a need of the hour. Okay. Very nice. Brilliant. Okay. Very nice. Awesome. Engaging. Okay. Engaging. Yeah. I think we've used a couple of tools today to engage, with ourselves. Very nice. Okay. Brilliant. Okay. Very nice. Okay. Great learning. Feel comfortable. Okay. I'm so glad you're feeling comfortable. Okay. Learning tool, learning session. Okay, great learning. Okay, very nice. Interesting, fantastic. Okay. Okay, perfect. So the idea was not really, I mean, I'm happy that you guys have found this useful, but more than this, what I wanted to show you is that you can use menti.com. And if you want to, get some information from your team, you can see that as you guys are typing, this is actually getting live created by menti.com for you. So so if you are, wanting to take certain information, you want to know, what the team is going through, it comes very nicely, and it comes anonymous, meaning you don't know who has put what, but you kind of, as a leader, you can, kind of know this. And at Crossover, we are, or rather, I'm also part of International Association of Facilitator. We have got Narsi, Rajkumar, we've got Padma, we've got Priya, a lot of people from IAF. So I would urge all of you also to look at iaf-world.org, where we kind of promote the power of facilitation. Yeah, and we are, as facilitator, also moving to online learning, and this is where some of this tool which website which you may not have heard about, you can start using it. Yeah. So with this, I think from my side, I am pretty much done, and we are at 12:56. I think 4 minutes to go, and yeah, I think I can see some of the chat also coming. So I'm glad that all of you could take time out, and having a session with about 50-60 people coming and spending the 2 hours is a great thing that has happened today. So you can be in touch with Sulbha, and she's going to send you the participant guide, and obviously you can be in touch with me. I have also started the Crossover Leadership Journeys YouTube channel, and we are going to put this recording on the channel. So we'll send you the channel link. So if you want to download it, if you want to share it with your team members, you could do that, and then let them take advantage of that. And anyway, you all are receiving my monthly mailer, so you will be posted on what we are doing. And I look forward to staying in touch with you. Stay safe and enjoy the virtual world that we are all getting into. Yeah. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you.